Welcome to Discover Greater Lansing. Whether you're exploring the rich history of the state capital or indulging in incredible local food, there's always something exciting happening here. Discover living. Discover mobility. Discover downtown. Discover giving back. Greater Lansing offers breathtaking activities and outdoor adventures, ensuring a perfect balance of city life and natural beauty. Discover the warmth. Discover the charm. Discover Greater Lansing. The journey begins now.
Hello, Greater Lansing, and it's so great to have you back with us today. Today, we're all going to feel a little bit healthier after the show because today we have with us President and CEO Kirk Ray from McLaren Greater Lansing. Thank you for being with us to tell us everything new and great in healthcare. We know as a community to live, work, and play to our fullest, we have to be healthy. There's a lot of pickleball injuries, especially along my age group. So to know just right down the street, there's great healthcare in McLaren and our other healthcare providers in the region. So welcome to Discover Greater Lansing. Let's talk about some new and exciting things. I am a little bit partial to the west side of our region. The west side is not always the best side, but in my eyes it is very good. And it's about to get a little bit better with the big news coming out of McLaren about expansion. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here today. It's a great opportunity to share our vision and story, I guess you could say. On the heels of the largest investment that McLaren ever made just recently, and so we're 2 years now removed for a $600 million investment in the new campus. We just recently announced a $40 million expansion to the West Lansing, Grand Ledge, and Delta Township area, which we were very excited about, really improving access in that area.
Absolutely. And what kind of services are we going to see out there?
So the first thing we looked at in that area was looking at emergency services or access for emergency services, and that's been somewhat limited in that area for some time, even though some of the hospitals were within a 15 to 20 minute drive. We also looked at the expansion of that market with the Ultium battery plant coming online and the number of lives they're going to need to have access to emergency care. And so we're going to have a 17-room emergency services center right there on that new campus. So anybody that has drive-up or ambulance transfer capabilities will be able to access emergency care right there within minutes.
Wow, that is huge news. Sometimes you get a little bit out on that west side, Eaton County, it gets a little more rural, and to know those high quality, excellent services are going to be right at our broken fingertips, if you will.
Right.
So, well, that's great news. And you talked a little bit about access to healthcare. We hear that a lot of conversations about it. But what is McLaren specifically doing so that all people, no matter where your walk and path in life is, can have access to that excellent health care?
Yeah, there's a lot of overall or overarching strategies within the region that McLaren's deploying over the next few years. The West Campus strategy was about access for emergency services. In addition to that, we're still programming over the next 18 months what that primary care access looks like. Our family physicians, internal medicine, obstetrics, gynecology, and a multitude of different specialties and subspecialties that we're looking at for that site and our existing Grand Ledge site, which is about 1.5 miles away from there. And then in addition to that, a lot of times folks don't want to have to navigate traffic to get to access imaging services. And so we're opening up the door for imaging services for CT, ultrasound, general radiology. We'll have capabilities for MRI in that new location once we get up and running. And so we tried to look at the best site in West Lansing. And when you start looking at the population center there, it's a catchment of about 220,000 residents. We then did a traffic analysis, and that location, there are about 19,000 drive-bys a day just on that location alone. And so you add the new development in that area to that, we felt like there was a big need, and there's going to be an even bigger need over the next few years for access, and that was really the impetus behind the investment there on the west side of the community.
Right, we see it, you know, everything used to be so, when I first moved to this great state in the early 90s, everything was so centralized in downtown, and it does, as you add services and you add people, it causes quite a bit of a bottleneck, if you will. And to see, first of all, the new hospital, it's a little, we got some breathing room out there, you know, and and it allows for ease of people to be able to come, but then it still provides the access. A little shout out to one of our show sponsors, CATA. Their route now goes well into throughout Eaton County. So your west side, we're going to have access no matter where you live in this great region of ours. They're going to be able to make their way to those services that are so necessary. So congratulations, that is wonderful news. I will shout it from the rooftops. What's our timeline? I know they always get shifted a little bit, so any solid deadlines in the future?
Yeah, I really have to give a shout out to Ken Fletcher with Delta Township, who really helped shepherd this along early on in order to get the property secured and work through some variances around that area with property variances. The Gillespie Group, who was the seller of the property and has worked with us in multiple development opportunities before, got us really on an accelerated path. We thought we were going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball, but we got to where we just made the announcement recently. We'll be breaking ground this summer. And it looks like the fall of 2025 we'll be cutting the ribbon to open the doors for emergency services and imaging and everything I just mentioned earlier.
Wow.
So we're really excited. It's a very compressed timeline, 18 months if you can imagine, once we put a shovel in the soil.
Oh, I just got those shivers. It's like when I heard I was going to be a grandma, but I'm going to have this great healthcare services that is literally in my front yard, if you will. So that, and your partners in that, we're known throughout the area for their great works and making things happen. And boy, that's a great timeline for access, especially as all these new jobs are coming to our community and people needing those services. And we won't talk too much about the aging population, but as we get older, sometimes we need a little bit more of what you have to offer. So that is wonderful. Little bit shift of gears here, but I'm sure as you're equipping this new facility, this great expansion, that you're thinking of AI, artificial intelligence. Some people are running scared from it. Some people are embracing it. Telehealth has always been, my Fitbit all the time, and I can tell, my heart's still beating. Life is good, but talk about AI and healthcare trends. Like, give us a little peek into your crystal ball, if you will.
Yeah, it can be very scary for patients, especially when that's brought up, and I think people have a mindset that there's going to be a robot taking care of them versus the human touch. But there's a very good blend in how this all comes together. And so in some of our key service lines, heart and vascular, orthopedics, we do have very strong robotics programs today. With our Da Vinci Intuitive launch, we have 3 robots that operate about 1,300 procedures a year for soft tissue cases. But more recently, we were selected as one of 20 sites in the United States, right here in Lansing, for a technology called SIDAR. It's an AI mapping system for vascular cases or high-end endovascular cases. And so just to kind of simplify that a little bit, typically a vascular surgeon would go into these cases for a thrombectomy, or it could be clearing an artery or vein in the leg, which is a very high acuity case for a surgeon, which requires them to go into the leg while they're in the case and try and understand the anatomy of the patient while they're in the case, while the patient's under anesthesia. With the SIDAR technology, it's able to have it's an AI mapping system that gives a 360 three-dimensional view for the surgeons to be able to go in, see what the anatomy looks like before they ever make the cut for the case, which shortens the length of time for the patient under anesthesia, shortens the length of the case, and improves the accuracy for the overall procedure. And so this is something that I know we've done well over a dozen cases so far that would have had to leave the community in the past. And again, we're the only one in the state of Michigan doing this right now. Drs. Nepper with MSU, Chen and Lynn, all have been instrumental in leading that process. But it's one of those areas where we felt was a great marriage between technology, and it was a great marriage for those types of services where patients would have to leave the community historically, and it's much better for the patient. And so that's one of those areas that we think is a huge improvement. It is a great tool in terms of utilizing AI.
Absolutely, and you said something that's critical, the human touch. And so I'm a writer by trade, and people are like, AI, no, it's going to replace humans. I don't know about you, I've been using spell check for a long time, and that's AI generated technology. And how they come alongside us, human beings, and help us do some of the more mundane and perhaps not emotive field. But in healthcare, you still have the human, and that is the healing touch, right?
It happens at the bedside, and so there has to be that clinical caregiver that's able to sit down and explain whether it's discharge instructions from the hospital or use of medication, those things that might put a patient back in the hospital if they don't understand those elements. And then as a healthcare organization, we're not typically graded on the clinical outcome of the patient. It's their perception of care.
Yeah.
And so if they're communicating with a television screen or a robot or something along those lines, I think of the Jetsons when I say that.
Exactly.
But, they're tending not to appreciate the care they were given. But if someone has compassion and can sit down at the bedside, holding a hand, having that conversation face to face, whether it's with the patient or the family, their perception of care is going to be dramatically better than relying on technology, so to speak.
Well, and the power of the human touch and compassion and kindness. As a cancer survivor, I know, and I was quite a while ago, but the psychological well-being of the person in the healing process is so critically important. And they're not going to do a survey, customer, how do you think our robots treated you? They're going to want to know bedside and the doctor and the care that they got. And just again, a shout out to all the caregivers who have come through a worldwide pandemic, and they are heroes. You're working for all those heroes who are taking care of us in our community, and we can't thank them enough for calling this home and for sharing their compassion, their talent and skills with every one of us. I don't think they can be thanked enough, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
McLaren's named after a nurse, and so
that's
where we
go.
were founded. You have to have that compassion, and all patients want is someone to care at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and that's, again, this whole show, the whole effort is, to live, work, and play. And sometimes people don't want to talk about healthcare because when I'm doing well, I don't want to think about hospitals and all that. But in a time of need, a time of great joy, having babies. I'm a golfer. If one of those parts wears out, I'm gonna, want to be able to get back in the swing of things. So thank you again to you and your entire team. How many people have chosen career paths with McLaren here in the greater Lansing area?
Oh my gosh, well currently we have about 2,400 employees here in McLaren Greater Lansing, and that's going to continue to grow as we grow in the region as well. And we've got really good nurse internship programs that we've launched recently, our surgical tech internship program. So we're really trying to not only grow from within, but work with the local universities and the colleges to enhance the leadership experience, and also a great transition into the workforce through immersive learning.
Absolutely, one of the largest employers in the region is taking care of people. So speaking about vastness and largest, the McLaren name is, you can't go any place in Michigan, essentially, up in the Upper Peninsula, all throughout the Mitten, McLaren. So doing great things all over the state. Let's bring it home and talk a little bit about, there's one project in particular. I'm the Child and Family Charities project, but bigger picture than that is, what are you doing locally to give back a little bit to this community that's embraced McLaren?
Yeah, a lot more recently launching the HealthWise initiatives. This is really about educating the community on areas of chronic disease processes that really impact a lot of where we have some socioeconomic challenges within the community. And so you're going to see a lot more of that with McLaren as we roll out our commitment to the community. But the HealthWise has been something that's been very good for us from an educational standpoint. We want to do more in the communities where there's a greater need, and you're going to see a lot more of that in the future. But yeah, HealthWise has been a really good thing for us. We continue to want to innovate on services, as I'd indicated before, with AI. And one of those, I have to throw this in there, our new imaging center, which is in the Izzo Family Health Center, and with our MRI units. We just recently launched a technology called Boost, which for patients that have claustrophobia or don't like to spend a lot of time in an MRI, even though it's a wide bore MRI, that technology actually accelerates the speed of the exam so patients can get in and out and help those types of patients that really don't want to be trapped, if you will,
Right,
in
right.
an imaging procedure. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, our commitment to the community is in things like where can we find areas to help with mental health services, the collaboration, as you'd indicated, with child and family charities, community mental health. You'll hear something more coming out about that in the near months. And then creating more access. We're in the process of tripling our efforts on recruitment of primary care and family medicine for this area where there's greater needs. And so you'll see that over the next few years.
So people still are getting into the field. You hear like sometimes there's, it's hard to find. We had to bring in, nurses and other healthcare professionals. But there's changing careers. It's an amazing career to get into, both from a public health kind of administrative point of view and actually hands-on healthcare, right? There's something for everyone.
Absolutely, many different areas. And if you'd asked me 2 years ago, coming out of the pandemic, we lost 20% of our workforce. This is nationally in healthcare, and that's an entire generation to have to try and backfill. And so as I said, we've really worked with the universities and trying to create this retention recruitment program that's worked very, very well for us. My chief nursing officer just informed me the other day that we are completely full up on staff in our emergency room, and there's only 2 open positions on nights, which 2 years ago there was 30% gap, and there was a lot of temporary nurses and whatnot trying to fill those slots. So we've been very aggressive about that, been very competitive on pay, but at the same time creating an environment where our moniker is we deliver the extraordinary. We believe that, and I think our staff believes that, and I believe the morale in our organization is as good as it's ever been. And I would stack that up against anybody nationally. I have a lot of colleagues across the country, and they're challenged. I feel like we're in a very good place.
Absolutely, and as a recipient of some of that McLaren care, we have a testimonial that it is here, it's real, and so appreciative again. So as we could have we could have a whole series on healthcare, your collaborations alone. None of us exist in islands, but what you're doing, thank you for that sneak peek into it. We'll definitely have you back. In your mind, name one thing you love about Greater Lansing.
Oh gosh, I love walking the river trail and ending up at one of the restaurants in Old Town, whether it's Zuby's or Creole or meat.
Yes.
I love the different choices we have here in the community.
That we can agree on. Thank you, Kirk Ray, President and CEO of McLaren Greater Lansing, for all you do and all your team does to keep us a great community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Middle Village recently welcomed its 2024 cohort, and we're sitting here with Amanda from Lake Trust to talk about their partnership with our program, Middle Village.
Thank you so much. So at Lake Trust Credit Union, we believe in the power of community, and we are always looking for opportunities to look into our neighborhoods and really work to foster community well-being. And one of the things that really drew us to Middle Village was the opportunity to collaborate to create change in communities by supporting those small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Well, we appreciate your partnership. We know that Middle Village has launched several businesses, and we're excited to be partners with you as we do this.
Absolutely, and we're so excited to be on this journey with Downtown Lansing, Inc. One of the things that really drew us to Middle Village was that it is that small business incubator, which is presented by Downtown Lansing, Inc., but powered by Lake Trust. And one of the things that we always try to do is look for collaboration on how to help create economic development. And so being able to work with those small businesses and the entrepreneurs to really help them get to the next level goal, whatever that might be, is something we're excited to be part of. And through the training and resources, we're so excited that we've seen that outpour in Downtown Lansing, Inc. of economic growth with the small businesses and entrepreneurs. But not only that, I think one thing that Lake Trust and Downtown Lansing, Inc. has been able to do is really push that shop local. So when we've put it out to the community and they're hearing it and they're seeing it firsthand, that when you shop local, it really is that catalyst for change in the community.
Thank you so much, Amanda, and thank you, Lake Trust.
Hi, I'm Karen Way with eXp Realty. Did you know that the average buyer is going to look at hundreds of homes before they even contact a realtor or even drive by your home? So if you're looking to list, sellers, I would really suggest that you invite me into your home to take a look at what is going on with it in regards to maybe a repair, updating something, because not being in your home, I also have buyer's eyes. So I will be able to talk to you about the focal points of rooms, what is obvious and what is really not a big deal. And believe it or not, my list is usually shorter than your list. So don't feel like you have to prepare a home before a listing. You really need to prepare yourself by meeting with a professional before you list. So that preliminary appointment that I would have with you would be about 45 minutes. It's going to start in the driveway. I will take some just pictures that I'm going to use for my own memory, but we'll start with curb appeal from the front porch, walk through the home, talk a little bit about positioning of furniture, possibly carpeting changes, if at all, and just the general feel of how the home flows and what needs to be done before we list. After we do that, you will have a good feel and also a written report from me as to what we want to accomplish before we put the home on the market. That will allow you information to decide if you want to do that within 3 days or 30 days or whenever you're comfortable. So I hope to hear from you. I'm Karen Way with eXp Realty.
The Lansing Regional Chamber is pleased to be part of Discover Greater Lansing, where we will celebrate and showcase the economic growth and assets that define our region. We are experiencing an extraordinary transformation with over $4 billion in new investment and thousands of new jobs. Placemaking, including the integration of arts, entertainment, and culture, plays a pivotal role in shaping our vibrant communities. Infrastructure is the backbone of economic growth, and we're seeing historic levels of investment exceeding $800 million, including the planned reconstruction of Michigan Avenue, connecting Michigan State University to our state capitol. As you embark on your journey to discover Greater Lansing, we encourage you to immerse yourselves in the unique experiences our region has to offer, support the small businesses that form the heartbeat of Lansing, and joining us in fostering an environment where innovation, collaboration, and prosperity flourish. Together, let's build a stronger Lansing.
I have Dan Shanahan, the East Lansing branch manager with Eaton Community Bank, here with me today. We're going to talk about banking. So Dan, I wanted to just check with you in regards to terms of banking. There's corporate banking, regional banking, local banking, and of course credit unions. I think like most I have a general understanding, but I've never heard of the term mutual banking until just recently. So I have no idea what it means. Help me with that.
Absolutely, Karen, and thanks for having me on. So Eaton Community Bank, we're a mutual bank, which means we're 100% owned by our customers. And there's only 3 mutual banks in Michigan. But it's similar to a credit union, but we have the same rules and regulations as all the other banks.
Okay, so that's interesting. Tell me, what does that mean for your clients?
Sure. Well, a mutual bank is true community banking. So there's no stocks, there's no shareholders, there's no dividends, and those things aren't driving our decision making. We pay our fair share in taxes, and we are 100% invested in our customers and our local communities. We're also an FDIC member, so our customers enjoy the same protections as all the bigger banks. And thanks to today's technologies and smartphones and mobile banking, our customers can enjoy the same conveniences as all the big regional and national banks. It's like shopping local or eating out at a restaurant that uses locally sourced food. You're not just purchasing quality goods and services, you're also directly contributing to the health and vitality of your local community.
Wow, when you put it like that, I don't know why anyone would not want to bank local. Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate your time today and you just giving us a better understanding of what banking really is.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Today we're excited to have one of the Rotary Club of Lansing Foundation's local award winners, Sue Shelton from the Junior Achievement of Mid-Michigan. Thanks for coming, Sue.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about Junior Achievement and its relationship with Rotary?
Junior Achievement, we've been around 104 years. We've been teaching financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship skills to students in kindergarten through 12th grade, bringing business and community education and students together. Working with the Rotary has just been a perfect partnership. The Rotary promotes service above self, And by promoting service above self, we also get a chance to have some of the Rotary members come in and volunteer and become mentors.
And how does the partnership between Rotary and JA work so well?
We work so well together because the Rotary is all about, the four-way test is all about promoting goodwill and being part of the community, and junior achievement is collaborative by nature. And so because of the four-way test and because of our ability to collaborate so well, we bring together a force that is able to promote education to students in K through 12.
And how does the grant you receive from the Rotary Club helping out?
So we are so eternally grateful for the grant that was received. Last year we had a 76% increase in student impact, and this year we are on target to even beat that record. So the grant dollars that were provided by the Rotary have helped us to provide even more programming than we ever have in the past.
All right, thank you, Susan.
Thank
you. And if you'd like to learn more, please go to lansingrotary.org.
Hi, Margaret.
Hi there.
Can you tell us in what ways CATA is ensuring inclusion for our marginalized and underserved populations?
Absolutely. For several years now, CATA has contracted with Advent House Ministries to provide 2 advocacy workers at our downtown transportation center who focus on assisting our unhoused partners. As you know, our downtown transportation center is also one of many warming and cooling centers in the capital city region.
What is the impact of the advocacy officers at the downtown CTC and in our region in general?
Yeah, the impact is that on a daily basis, our officers work with about 60 people every day, providing them a pathway to independence by helping them with employment opportunities, medical and housing needs, and providing resources such as food, shelter, and transportation.
Excellent. Can you share with us one of the most memorable activities or things that the advocacy officers have done that sticks out in your memory?
Yeah, so throughout the years, we've been fortunate enough to house up to 5 families who were previously struggling with homelessness or housing insecurity. And these workers have been dedicated to providing them transition into permanent situations. And it just shows their dedication and the love they have that we also have for our community.
And where are these advocacy officers located?
They have an office at our downtown transportation center on 420 South Grand.
Great, and they are there?
We're there Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Our officers are there generally from 8 a.m. till about 6 o'clock p.m.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
To learn more about what the Greater Lansing area has to offer, go to discovergreaterlansing.com.
Wow, what another great show and another reason to discover Greater Lansing. So many wonderful things happening in our great, great community. From living, working, and playing, we've got it right here in Greater Lansing. Thanks for joining us.